Hey, this is Jack from Alphacharts with a stocks to watch video. Today is June 9th, 2024. Before we get started, this video is for informational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security. And I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. All right, thank you all for watching the video. If you haven't done so, please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Of course, you can find me on X at Alphacharts365. If you haven't done so yet, I do have a subscriber group there. You get all this information. It's only $10 a month, totally worth it. Give it a subscribe, give it a try, and see if you like it. All right, let's get to some charts. We have the SPY. I went through the whole process, or part, at least most of the process yesterday. And we're cautiously optimistic, right? Cautiously optimistic. So let's get into some potential names that could give us maybe some chances to make money, right? Nothing's ever guaranteed. First one's gonna be Palantir. So Palantir has a big base going on here. Here's the IPO, and it's kind of been, just basing around this area, and maybe, just maybe, it's coming to the right side, and it could finish this off and then break out and maybe get to this, who knows, maybe $40 if it can finish the base. It's really deep, right? And so maybe it could go even higher, right? I don't know. But for now, you just, potentially even just play it from where it's at now to, this $27-28 area. That would be something that's very reasonable. May need a little bit more time, but this is not bad at all, especially if it can, go inside and up. That's what I'm looking for here, inside and up. Another one is CrowdStrike, right? Another mega cap, or not mega cap, it's a mid cap, but it's a big boy. It's a big boy. So yeah, had a nice base, and we've been in this before. That's what I'm deleting right now because what happened in the past doesn't really even matter. All right, so here's the base, and now it kind of is a base on base, and it's trying to break out. And here it is right there, trying to break out. It had earnings, obviously up 12%, held the 50-day right where, hopefully it should have, and it did. And now it's trying to move higher right into this area. I like that close at the top of the range. That's very nice. And so, yeah, this is, again, the pattern's it's kind of messy in here, but nice volume signature. And I think that we have a definitely, it's 350-ish or so area, which is just a little bit north of where price is right now. That's a place that maybe you get involved, and you can use 330-ish or so as a stop. Just a thought. What else we have? CRDO. Um, strong name, strong name. I know a lot of people got caught with it back here. I didn't, thankfully. I don't know if I've ever actually traded this particular name, but it's starting to you know, huge day. Was at the highest volume ever, not quite the highest volume ever, but a very high volume day. And it is coming out of this general area, right? That's kind of like the breakout. If I put a VWAP from here, you see how it's above VWAP. And again, I think that's a place where you could potentially manage risk, right? Maybe at VWAP, maybe on the low of the day right here, right? Maybe the low of the day, somewhere around $26. Um, that's the idea. If it comes back in, there's no reason to be long the name. Kava, name we all know. It's struggling a little bit right here, but in the end, it's really just flagging. So if it can right itself, and I think this is the trend line, it's got to break. So it may need a few more days or even another week. But I do like how this is kind of shaping up. Yeah, ultimately, it should hold 82, I think. That's where the 23-day EMA is. We have seen buyers show up a little higher than there, so I like that. Again, just building it out. It's on my watch list. Nothing I don't think it's totally actionable right now, but if it breaks this trend line, that could be a different story. 4, shift for payments. Again, a nice big base right here that's building out. And if it can get above, 76-ish or so, yeah, it looks pretty good. You could get in earlier if you wanted to, maybe if it takes out the high here, around 74, then you could use, the 23-day or even 9-day as a potential, or even a low of this day as your potential stop, depending on what your risk tolerance is. But I mean, again, it's a nice big base. You see support and resistance demonstrated by this green boxy area that I put in there. At least that's the way I look at it. And it looks really good, right? It's making its first real base. And it's been IPO'd in 2020, and it's taken 4 years to actually make a base. And again, something that is really nice. You have a low, higher low, higher low, higher low. There's your high, higher high, higher high. It's a technical uptrend. Now, is it the easiest one to be in? No, this is not an easy one to hold through. But yes, it's an uptrend from this 2022 low. All right. Next up is PRCT. Here's PRCT. This is Procept Biorobotics. Again, it's a little bit of a smaller cap name, but it's not tiny in any, it's a mid cap. Technically, it's a mid cap. It trades, with 300,000, to 500,000 shares, somewhere around there. And it had this nice big up, and it kind of pinched, and now it's moving higher. And so I think this is a place we can manage risk against, and especially if it takes out 69, we'll call it $70, somewhere around there. That is a place that I really, really like. Where's my stop at? 67. So it's roughly a $3 risk, if that's the way you play it, or less if you get there beforehand. And it's just a trade, but it looks really, really good. And again, I'm using Deep View. If you're interested in Deep View, go to deepview.com for that. But I like that you could just toggle over here and it'll tell you, it's a biorobotics surgery type thing for urologists. Okay. Yeah. All right. So it's an interesting place, especially with boomers and everything else. Anyway, moving higher. That's all we care about. What else? Lore. Lore is a newer name. Hasn't really made an IPO base yet, but it's coming up to this all-time high area. And I'm not sure what it's going to do up here. Maybe it needs to pull back and then go. But I like that it's got this nice accumulation look to it. Again, a little bit on the lower number of shares trading, but overall it looks pretty good. So, break out here above 61-ish or so. That could be a place to potentially get long. I'd probably wait for that though, just because, maybe it needs a little bit of time. What else we have? First Solar, FSLR. Nice flag. Might be the nicest chart we've seen today, right? Nice flag. And there's your kind of, trend line down for the flag piece. Went from 196 to 286. So that's a nice little 50%. And maybe it gets another 50% in there, right? I don't know the answer to that. But it's a very, very nice. And let's just look on the weekly. On the weekly, right? When we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Back 161, or even we go here and just kind of, we look at it, it's 84%. So 2 weeks tight, high tight flag potential. That's a potential short stroke, right? It's only 2 weeks versus the 3 weeks. Overall, yeah, looks good, right? That's all we really care about. Looks good. What else? Brothers Coffee, another one that looks really good. Big up. There's your kind of retracement, and now it's going up. I think this 41-ish area is, a potential spot for it to sell into. And then if that whole, that is constructive, I think that's a special area, and maybe price will go above it and go more. But right now, that's a place where I would, kind of target, is that 41-ish area on Brothers Coffee. But again, I like this little A, B, and potentially C area. That's a possibility. And the last one is Apple, which we all know. Most of us use their products at some level. And I'm going to go to weekly chart on this one, and it's a beautiful chart. Now, am I buying right here? They have a big event, and it could be a sell the news event. I think it's Monday or Tuesday. You have to look it up. Um, we're back, but we have a beautiful double bottom base. And now let's zoom into the daily. And so maybe it comes back a little bit. I don't know. It's possible. Maybe it comes back a little bit, maybe to 193-ish or so. Um, and then it breaks out. Again, it had a very fantastic run. Things are starting to look up again. There's your 50-day trying to cross the 200. I think that, the breakout here would be pretty significant. And, top to bottom, we're talking about roughly 32 points. And that brings us, if it breaks out at the 200 level, to 230, 240. That'd be the measured move somewhere around there. We call it 230, maybe 235, which is not a bad, listen, that's 20%, right? That'd be about a 20% move. And that would not be bad for a mega cap that is very liquid. Lots of accumulation going on in this name. So everything looks pretty good. And yeah, so Apple, mega cap, but we don't care what it is as long as it's setting up and making money. And I think this is one of them. All right. So if you haven't done so, please check me out at Alphacharts 365. Click on the subscribe button. Again, you're going to get a ton of information, really be just like a co-pilot for you in your trading journey. That's it. Place to bounce ideas off of and see what I'm looking at. Very in-depth stuff. So, all right. Appreciate you all watching. Take care.